Welcome everybody to the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. It's actually been a surprisingly big week for Xbox and Xbox news, all things in the news. We got word of a handheld dropping this year, an Xbox handheld. Mm-hmm. This is a partner handheld. The rumor is that it's going to be Asus, that it's going to drop at between $499 and $599, which I think is the correct price point. Ask me why I think that's the correct price point, Jordan.
Because it's below 500.
Because that's the Switch. Yeah, because that's the Switch. So you've got to match the Switch, I think, to have success. Now,
wait, we know the price of the new Switch already?
Yeah, we saw those images, remember? $499?
I don't even remember
Well,
that.
it's rumored. We don't officially know the price.
Yeah. Same with this. But here's the thing. It's just a partner device. So
yeah, it's not officially Microsoft's.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be kind of a test device for their first party. Their first party handheld is coming alongside a ballsy console device in either late 2026 or 2027. Mm-hmm. And I could not be more excited. Depending on the specs. Okay, so far from what we know, here's what we know. Asus, very much like the ROG Ally, very close to it, with more Xbox-like aesthetics, and they just said bigger grips. So I'm hoping we get an Xbox-like controller grip for it.
Yeah.
Like the PS Portal. And then we know the price point, $499 to $599. Depending on a few details, right now I'm leaning buy day one for me.
I mean, I want to see what it does because the ROG.
So with a partner device, we know we're going to get an early version, at least, of what Xbox is thinking as far as a handheld UI. And their first-party handheld UI is going to be an Xbox Windows hybrid new UI system that runs like Windows 32 architecture.
I think maybe I'm wrong, but
that's going to be the most interesting part, right?
I think the general public does not want a Windows Xbox hybrid. I think they want a controlled UI. Why is the Switch so successful? Because you put it in a cartridge and you play your game.
Yeah.
Why is Steam so successful? Although you can do different things with Steam, but it's a specific UI.
Fairness, but I would imagine, so right now the ROG Ally is running Windows.
Yes, and that's actually, in my opinion, its biggest downfall. I know a lot of people like that you can do a lot more customization with it, but to actually sit and play a game, you've
got to set it up.
It's not just like plug in and play. You really got to dial in settings.
And that's where Steam Deck has the advantage.
Yeah, especially with their Steam Deck optimized tag.
But when you say it's a Windows Xbox hybrid, all it means is a new gaming central operating system for this. Because why partner with ROG Ally if you're just going to drop an ROG Ally with an Xbox logo on it? No, it's going to be a very early version of whatever Xbox's new UI is going to be on these next generation consoles.
I just want their regular Xbox UI.
And so the reason that Windows / Xbox hybrid is coming into play is because of the new consoles. You're going to be able to load from the details that Jez Corden dropped this week and Tom Warren confirmed. You're going to be able to load PC games directly onto your console. Mm-hmm. And so it'll still be an Xbox ecosystem in that they'll control it, but it'll probably be closer to, I would say, like what the Steam Deck does with their handheld, only the Xbox version of that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Again, this is gonna be an early version, so I expect Xbox to save all the bells and whistles for its handheld, its first-party handheld.
Well, and then I also wonder, is it gonna rely on cloud gaming? Is it gonna be more?
So it's native download.
Are they going to utilize some of these AI things that are coming out?
I don't think so yet. I think that's going to be next generation. It will not be Xbox game centric in that games from your console won't necessarily play, but games from Xbox for Game Pass Ultimate will play on it. Yeah, at least what we know so far. So maybe that changes as we go forward. So don't take that to the bank yet. What we know so far. Regardless, I think number one, I want more handhelds in my life.
Yeah. No, they are nice.
Number two, what do you play your ROG Ally as much as you thought you would, or is it that Windows?
I play it sometimes when my kids are using the TV or something like that, just because Xbox has that cross save feature.
Yeah.
So no matter where I'm at, I can just continue playing Avowed or whatever, stuff like that. But if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd probably get the Steam Deck instead.
Yeah, a lot of people prefer the Steam Deck. ROG Ally technically is the more powerful device, but Steam Deck has their operating system.
Yeah, it's just and then with the Steam Deck optimization tag for which more and more games are having, it's easy. You just play your games.
Yeah. Speaking away from your mic. Sorry. I agree, and that's why I think we're going to see an early version of what Xbox's handheld operating system is going to look like, and that's really exciting. Spicy, what are your thoughts on this, on a handheld, on an Xbox partner device handheld coming? Purchase, not purchase yet? Was pause and wait? Where are you at?
Well,
good, bad, ugly, the other?
It's hard to make a purchase when in 2 years we have rumors of the next one coming out with a actual Xbox, not a third-party developer.
Yeah, that's true. Although, in fairness, we have disposable income now. So
I have been using that excuse to my wife for the last 2 weeks.
To quote you, we have disposable income.
I have disposable. That's why I bought that. Yeah, that's the best argument. I have disposable income. So yeah. I mean, it's hard to make that kind of a purchase when the next gen is. I believe that this is kind of it's almost like an A/B test or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like Xbox is testing the market to see how this could go.
It's their beta test for their own first-party device, I think.
Yeah. So price point, $499 to $599, that's still pretty high, but depending on what we get, that could be the right price point. It just seems really expensive, but everything's really expensive nowadays. So it's like, oh my gosh, is that where we're at?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was asking about the Switch details, because I didn't remember that being the price.
Yeah, the Switch 2, $499. I can.
That's
pull it
so
up,
crazy
actually.
to me that we're getting to that point where that's the price of things.
Yeah. So I don't think. Remember, this partner. This is going to be the only partner device that we get. We're going to get a lot, and so you're going to have multiple entries into the Xbox ecosystem here. That's Xbox's long-term goal, which is ironic because what was it just a few weeks ago? For the last few months, Xbox just doesn't care about hardware. They're getting out of hardware, and now we get all the news about their hardware. Yeah, it was always the internet. Anyways, so they're gonna have multiple entry points. You're gonna have low end ones. We may get ones cheaper than $499 one day from a partner, like as a super entry level, and then you're gonna have all the way up to high end. What are your thoughts? I think I don't think the Asus price matters because that's a partner device. The first party device price point. That matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think it has to match the Nintendo Switch.
I think the difference between these two devices, besides third party and first party, is I think, from what I understand, reading the rumor articles and everything on this, is it's going to be PC Xbox only, right?
Yeah, Game Pass Ultimate.
Game Pass Ultimate only. So it's basically a PC games that are Xbox that are available on the PC is what you're going to be able to have access to. So, and I think that 1 and 2 years are probably going to make it so it's like your portable Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
and then it allows both. Like
it's just going to be the full suite.
There will be no difference.
So, with that in mind, it's really, I don't know if this is going to be something I purchase day one at all.
But is there a game? I'm trying to think. Is there a game that I play on my Xbox that is not on Game Pass Ultimate?
There used to be lots, but I mean, I don't know.
Like all the big ones.
You're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Do you want me to? I can look it up. I'll just look up the list.
That's not on Game Pass Ultimate.
No.
But there. I mean, that's
so shat.
I know. So this early rendition has its limitations.
Yeah.
At a $599 possible price point, that seems steep. However, if one of you buy it and it's freaking amazing, or I see that it's really awesome to have that going around, I would love to have a portable Xbox.
Yeah, agreed.
The thing is, though, it's not all Xbox yet.
Yeah. The real one will be in 2 years when it drops, 2027. How about this? What are your thoughts, since we're speaking of price points? So we also got a lot of details about the Xbox, the next Xbox console, and people are speculating that it's about an $800 price point, that it's going to be premium it's going to be a premium device. It's going to run. It'll be the new Xbox dashboard that runs. Allows you to load not just Steam but PC games, Xbox games, the whole shot onto it.
I don't think that can be your only box if you're going for that price point.
What do you mean?
Like if they have, I think they would have to do it like they're doing
now.
I think they'd have to do it like they're doing it now. You'd have to have like an $8.99 version and then a $5.99 version, and that. Like,
that's exactly. Yeah, I think that's exactly correct.
Because
an $8.99. So when you say $800,
you say $800. I think ooh.
And do you say $8.99 or $7.99? Because that's important.
Let's say $7.99 because I think it's $800.
That's almost $1,000 for a console. Like really, at that point, you're seriously starting to think, okay, let's just get a PC. Which again is fine because you're within the Xbox ecosystem.
But again, if you go read what is expected to come, it's
probably. I mean,
everyone's saying if this is what's coming, that's more than worth it.
That's how consoles have always been. They're cheap gaming PCs. They've been like that for the last 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
Since the original Xbox is basically a PC that they put DVD drive hard. Microsoft knew how to build they knew PCs, so they used the DirectX and that whole thing to just let's make a console out of a PC.
Yeah,
that's generally how consoles are. They are at the time when they're released, top tier hardware that is affordable. That is cheaper than you can get at a PC. That punches above its weight. It's a discounted PC essentially that has its own UI and
I think when you start getting above 500, I think you're getting into dicey territory.
I agree with Jordan.
When it comes to consumers.
But realize this: you're going to have multiple entry points, and you're going to have partner hardware too. So you're going to have Razer Xbox partner devices that are $2,000. Yeah, I mean premium.
Yeah, but that's fine. We're talking about the first party stuff. Like Xbox's new console,
sure.
If it's over $500, why would a consumer say, why am I buying $800 gaming machine when I can get the Switch 2?
Well, it's going to be, it's power.
It's going to deliver, yeah.
Yeah, it's power.
Well, so look what just the Switch has done alone at its price point.
I know, yeah,
but look what happened to PlayStation 3 at its price point.
But PlayStation is rumored to be doing the same thing, so it's not like they're outside of the
PlayStation and Xbox has always been about they want to be the most power available. That's one of their concerns. Nintendo doesn't care necessarily about power.
They're still running on cartridges.
Yeah, they have a different marketing push, and their ideology is different than Xbox and Xbox and PlayStation, because their hardware is. I would say every time Nintendo comes out with a console, it's a generation behind. But they don't care because of what the innovation they bring to that specific and the games they bring in and their IPs and all that stuff. They're different. Mm-hmm. I think it's apples and oranges. Whereas Microsoft and PlayStation, they try to have the most powerful hardware available.
Yeah.
And so equivalency when it comes to like PC hardware, I would say when the new Xbox comes out in 2027, the
largest jump, they say, right?
They say the largest jump. I think it's going to be an AI frame.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah. But if you were to get the equivalent PC, I would guess that the PC equivalent would be $1,500 PC for an $800 Xbox, if that's the numbers you're looking at.
That will this time around, you'll be able to play PC games on as well as your Xbox library.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think you got to be careful about price point. I think they got to be careful about their messaging, because if you come out and say, hey, we have 3 consoles, $700, $600, $500, and then we have Razer partner at $2,000, and then we have a Lenovo at $3,000.
Yeah,
and then
true.
We have,
but remember, the Series X doesn't go away. The Series S doesn't go away.
No, I understand that.
And you're coming out with a handheld as well, so you're going to have all kinds of price points.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you do a disservice to yourself having too much out there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And Microsoft is already not good at messaging.
I don't know. I think ultimately they'll have 3. And then they'll have 3 first-party options.
So meanwhile, this is what I'm thinking. So Microsoft does these 3 tiers of pricing plus all their partner stuff, and then PlayStation comes out and says, "Hey, here's PS6, $600. come buy it, play our exclusives. Where are people going to lean towards?
Wherever they can get Game Pass.
Well, I think people are going to lean towards the more simpler product.
Xbox is making hardware, to be clear.
Yeah.
Secondary. The Game Pass. The reason they're partnering with other hardware makers is because they don't. Yes, they'll make their own hardware because it's a great way to keep your 50 million base of players in your ecosystem. But ultimately, it's about Game Pass.
Yeah.
And so they're not gonna. They don't care what. Let PlayStation do what PlayStation does. We're Game Pass.
But what I'm saying
if you don't want an Xbox, go on your PC and you'll get Game Pass Ultimate.
And I get that that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I think if you put too much out there at too many different price points, plus all your at too many high price points, plus all your different third party stuff, you're gonna flood announcement day with 10 different Xboxes, and people are just gonna think,
but why does that argument
one PS6?
But why does that argument not exist for gaming PCs?
Well, it does with Microsoft. It does. Do you remember how many editions of Windows 7 there were?
Oh yeah,
it was terrible.
Okay,
and no one liked it.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about hardware. Like when Microsoft doesn't care what hardware you're playing on, they care you're on Windows.
No, I know.
I think that's the philosophy of Xbox.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't want them to.
You want to know what I'm most excited for?
Look how confusing the Xbox One launch was, and that was one console with a Kinect. How are they going to announce 3 different tiers of consoles plus all their partner stuff?
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, like.
Well,
and look what that did to them.
Yeah.
They focused on the wrong thing, and it hurt them for quite a while.
Yeah, but we're in a different time period now where we own Call of Duty. Okay? And by we, I mean Xbox. And we may own some Ubisoft titles here.
I think Jordan's right though. The price point.
Yeah, what is it called?
Like price point is a big deal.
Yeah, that is a crucial part of this.
No,
puzzle.
I agree absolutely.
I mean, yes, they want to push Game Pass, but if they're selling hardware, if they're creating hardware, price point is extremely important.
Yeah, but but price point is also relative to what the competition is doing. So, because rumor is the next PlayStation is an $800 PlayStation as well.
Well, look how the PS4 Pro went.
It's getting PS5 Pro.
Sorry, yeah, PS5 Pro. Sorry, but I think a large part of that is price point.
Yeah, but again, because it's relative, and the reason it's getting destroyed is because they're comparing it to the Series X.
And the price
and the Series X is crushing. Have you seen the Forza Horizon videos that they're comparing, or like racing videos that they're comparing with the PSS VR, which is now irrelevant because FSR is coming to everything. Like that's the future consoles. FSR is standard.
Yeah.
What do we think? What do we think on frame rate? Frame rate 4K. Let's go frame rate 4K on next gen consoles. Does it hit 60 on everything?
Well, I think 60 should be a new minimum.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be the minimum at 1080 or 1440 for sure.
I think
the difficult thing with consoles is most people aren't playing their PC on a 4K monitor.
With FPS versus RFPS.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my term.
Oh, will be 260
real frames per second.
Yeah.
No, I think with fake frames, yeah, that's going to be the.
Well, that's the problem. If you have 200 FPS, but it only feels like.
That's why for everyone, it's kind of sucks that we don't get real numbers anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I think they need to have an RFPS, real frames per second standard, and then you can also do the FFPS.
So keep in mind though, what NVIDIA showed off is like alpha tech. So you don't think that they'll ever get to a point where fake 120 feels like real 120?
No.
Well, it's because they're projecting the frames, so those technically aren't real frames, right?
Here's the problem, and NVIDIA knows this, and this is why I think they're pushing this. For the last 50 years, I forget the theory. I don't know. I just know things, whatever. Every 2 years, technology doubled.
Okay.
So every 2 years, technology doubled. Just because of the nature of what it was. That has stopped.
Well, hardware
improvements every 2 years, it's doubled. That has hit a hard stop because we're getting to like the atomic level when it comes to hardware.
Yep.
It just can't improve. What's funny about the 5090s and the 50 series, what makes me laugh is the only way to get improvement is by making them bigger and sucking more power. What's funny about the 5090 is it actually pulls more power than the spec of the cables allow, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's the 2x6 cable that goes to your power supply. It's pulling over, I think it was 600 watts or something like that, and it's pulling 612. Wow. So it's passing the limit of the cable itself,
but within acceptable margins. Is that how they?
No. That's super. Like, it's like, oh, the thing can handle it in bursts, but it's going over spec. So it's actually kind of a really.
So you're gonna need new power supplies then, with
not power supply. It's the cable themselves that can't handle. Well, it can, but it's going over than manufacturer says to go over. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So we're getting to the point where the only way that NVIDIA and these companies can improve is by using AI to make fake frames and stuff like that without making the tower huge or making I mean, look at the graphics cards nowadays. They're just freaking massive. And the only way they're able to improve is to just add more power to it. And I said this on the show a million times. You can actually have some crazy specs as long as you can cool it. You just add more power.
Yeah.
And that's where they're at. So to answer your question, are we going to ever get to that point? It's getting the only way I see is when
cold fusion.
When we can figure out how to put liquid nitrogen and stuff.
When software catches up a little bit.
We'll literally have little nuclear reactors in our computers to power everything.
Yeah, I know. Well, we need cables that can handle that. So what we're seeing is the slowdown of the hardware and the natural evolution of the software catching up to kind of get to that. Because if NVIDIA didn't have that AI boost, they wouldn't have had a release of the 50 series.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see
because they're already using AI to make those numbers, and they're pushing the cables beyond what they're capable of.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think what is undeniable at this point is we're living in the midst of a giant gaming shift. Like, unlike we've seen since like the Xbox One and Xbox 360 days.
What's interesting about, we talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago with handhelds.
Yep.
That's why it's fascinating to see how handhelds go. Because Phil Spencer, he wants to have hardware in your hand, not based off the cloud.
I mean, an option of hardware in your hand.
An option to have hardware in your hand. And when you start to get into like the Xbox Series S, that pulls like 80 watts, I think like 75-ish.
Yeah.
The Switch pulls 20 watts. So we're having to deal with battery consumption and life.
Battery is the technology. That's being able to store energy is the technology that's behind for everything right now. Like, we could be separated from the grid. The problem is you have nowhere to store the energy, right? Like that's the...
Yeah, and cool. I would say cooling as well, because that goes hand in hand. The more power you pull, the more you have to worry about cooling, whether you have spinning fans or how, like your laptop right there, where it uses the actual shell of the laptop to help cool, stuff like that. So I find it, that's why I said that a handheld, and I guess I'm wrong because they're coming out with a third-party console, but I said it was several years away before you could get a handheld Xbox that can be turned on for longer than 2 hours.
Yeah, apparently it's been approved. Rumor is from a few sources, like Tom Warren, Jez Corden, they all have corroborated each other, that the next gen console and handheld first party has been approved and is in.
Yeah, hasn't it been approved like all the way up to Natya Sadella or like the CEO?
Natya Sadella. Yep. So it will be interesting. And then the other talking point here is a lot of people saying if they get a Series S standard in a handheld, that's huge.
Well, see, and I think people are willing to give up a few things for the portability.
I mean, look at the Nintendo Switch.
Look at the Switch, right? So I think a Series S power level.
Yeah, Series S. That's all I need. Yeah. That's all I need.
So, and then with you being on the smaller screen, I mean, it won't look. Yeah.
Well, because you don't need the same amount of power. I think where the console is having difficulty keeping up with PCs is most people are playing their consoles on ballsy 4K televisions. Most people are playing their PCs on 1080 or 1440. In fact, it's according to Steam numbers, it's less than 10% are on anything higher.
Yeah, my PC I do 14.
And so you can crank up settings there, and so where it seems like, oh well, my PC's ballsier. Well, is it? Is it? Can you do 64K on that? Like, very few PCs can. Your high end ones can, but everybody else is cranking up their settings on a 1080p monitor, while everyone on console is playing on 4K. So it's a really tricky. Consoles are in a tricky space because they're it's kind of apples and oranges with the numbers, especially when it comes to frame rates that they're comparing there.
Yeah, I really do think that PC, it's more important to have 100 plus frames on any game versus a console, because you use a controller on a console.
Yeah.
You don't feel the frames nearly as much on a controller.
A mouse, yeah.
A mouse, you feel it. If it drops under 50, I'm turning the game off, restarting my computer, and wondering what I'm doing with my life.
Let's take some super chats here. Super Shocker gifted 5 XoneBros memberships. Huge shout out to Super Shocker. Thank you very much. Anybody that received a membership, make sure you drop a super chat, drop a BFF for Super Shocker in chat. He also dropped a 669, as he is known to do. Thank you for the 669, baby. He says, the question everyone is asking about these new handhelds is, does it have ray tracing?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't.
I think because that comes down to battery life and power. Ray tracing takes power.
Maybe it would be capable, but I don't know. It depends. I doubt they're going to make an announcement and say that ray tracing is going to be available to every game going forward.
Yeah, ray tracing is not something. First of all, I think it was something that was hyped up, and now, when was the last time you saw like a game trailer that even mentions ray tracing?
It was a tech demo type feature.
Yeah, it was like a party feature.
Don't get me wrong, ray tracing's cool, and when it works, but not a lot of games on the well, I don't know. I guess a handful of games on the console utilize it in like their quality modes and stuff. But see, then. In their quality modes. But see, then I always switch to performance mode because I'd rather have frame rate.
Very cool. Yeah, yeah. We also, Dominic DiBiaso, member for 31 months, Tier 2 Arbiter, shout out. Thank you very much. A few comments here. We had Average Gaming Dad says, I agree, if I can go buy a new Samsung TV for $800 and play Xbox games through a Game Pass app with some latency, why wouldn't I go buy an actual console for $800 with no latency? It's a decent point. And Reactor Leak says, as long as you can locally store the game on the handheld, not just cloud-only playing. Yeah, I think Phil Spencer's already said that is the goal there with that. There's an interesting theory, and I actually thought of you guys, that I heard like 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of people that increasingly believe in simulation theory. Do you know what simulation theory is?
We're living in a simulation.
We're living in a simulation, right?
The Matrix.
Okay. And the proof of that...
To be kind of slightly be cool.
Yeah.
Like just waiting to be unplugged.
What they use as proof for that, and this discussion reminds me of it, is that for instance, Yellowstone. Yeah, we're next to Yellowstone. It's the big vacation spot, right? It's a big site to see. Does Yellowstone exist for you until you get there? Does Mars exist for you until you get there?
It's like that Rick and Morty episode when he is in a simulation, and if he goes faster than the simulation can produce with the surroundings.
Yeah, and when I was hearing an explanation of this, and I was like, oh, so ray tracing, like. It doesn't exist until you turn, and then, there it is. But when I'm turned away from it, it's actually not there. It's just real-life ray tracing, IRL ray tracing.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, probably.
It is kind of a crazy philosophical thing. Does something exist for you if you've never been there? And the answer is no, it doesn't.
It's the old Chinese proverb. This is thousands of years old. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound?
And the answer is no, because sound is hearing. Sound is... The definition of sound requires hearing.
I mean, but sound waves were produced.
Were they?
No one was there to.
Do you think we would have? Do you think we would have simulation theory if like the Matrix did not exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we have simulation theory because we're getting into AI and stuff, and think about the worlds that we're building in gaming even. And so it's a lot of like developers and tech guys that are pushing this theory forward.
Meanwhile, there's some poor guy in Zion trying to heat the world and get everybody out of the simulation.
That's true.
Well, then there's going to be a guy that can control the robots.
Yeah, defend us from the machines.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, all we are is a Duracell battery.
Yeah, is this, what does he say? For this, to hold up the battery. And then Neo throws up on the Nebuchadnezzar.
No one makes their first jump, David. No one ever does.
Yeah,
no one ever makes their first jump.
I would.
You would make your first jump?
I would make my first
You'd
jump.
be the one.
What'd you think of the lady? The lady in the red
David's
dress.
starting to believe.
I do believe.
He's beginning to believe. I don't think we're in a simulation because I don't see very many women in red dresses.
Depends what websites you
go to. That's funny.
Yeah. Shall we talk about Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Ubisoft. Jordan, I need another Dr. Pepper.
I'll go get you one.
Oh, I was going to go get one, and then let you guys kick it off.
No, I'll go get you one.
You want
it's
me
my
to
house. I got you.
Okay, thank you. Hey,
Mark
thank
doesn't
you.
care about Ubisoft.
Mark,
They haven't really done anything for him in the last couple of
We
years.
know you're the one who wants to say stuff.
Oh, okay. I guess I can.
What, do you want us to start?
I can. What I want to say is go follow my channel. That's
I just said go F yourself. What I want to say is go F yourself. I thought you were about to say that.
Excuse me. Ubisoft. So, rumor is that Xbox or that Microsoft has approached and EA has approached Ubisoft not to buy Ubisoft, but to buy IPs from Ubisoft.
Well, remember the rumor that Tencent approached Ubisoft?
Yeah.
That's a funny rumor. Because the owners were like, yeah, you can buy us, but we stay in control. And then Tencent was like, no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's
Why would we buy you?
That's
if
not
we
how
stay
it
in
works.
control?
Yeah.
So
Look,
you want our money?
We are buying you because you're in control.
You're coming to us because you've messed up
so much.
And you want to retain in control of, like, let's be honest, fabulous IPs. Like, their IPs, like, think about under the radar IPs.
Well,
Rayman Legends.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell. How have they not done anything with Splinter Cell?
Just think of, like, your top IPs of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and what's the other one that they
diminished? I would say, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. I mean, you got Rainbow Six Siege.
Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. I feel like they had, like, one other big one. Obviously not. Never mind. Assassin's Creed and Far Cry are, like, their two big ones.
Yeah, those two, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. Or Watch Dogs. I don't think Watch Dogs is that big.
I
they
think,
got Ghost Recon, Division.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Ghost Recon, Division. Yeah.
I think the biggest bang for your buck for Xbox, if they're going to purchase any of the Ubisoft IPs, is Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it's the most unique, and it's the one that is the least amount of competition out there. You said it in your video. You have Metal Gear Solid, which
Metal Gear Solid.
A lot of people can compare Splinter Cell to.
Hitman, kind of, but Hitman's an entirely different game altogether. Yeah. Splinter Cell is closer to Metal Gear Solid.
In that genre of like stealth.
Yeah, it's unique.
Political espionage gaming.
Oh, and you brought me ice in a cup?
Yeah, I got you.
Or is that for you? Or is that for you?
I got you my Spider-Man.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Mark, this is service. You brought me two? Yeah. Is this one for you, Jordan?
No.
So this is like 700 calories right here if I finish all these.
You told me you could have caffeine again. So.
Well, no, just once a week.
And we're on
via Dr.
2,
Pepper.
almost 3.
I gotcha.
Guys, I'm 25 days sober.
Good for you.
From 5 hour. I was having 2 5-hour energies and a pre-workout a day.
Yeah, I could never do that.
Oh, you could. Your body becomes numb.
No, I literally. You know how I react to caffeine.
That's right.
I could never do that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not.
So we were talking Ubisoft that the biggest bang for your buck, if Xbox is going to get an IP here, is Splinter Cell. I think, like Jordan said,
I think it's the game that has the least amount of competition in the genre, and I think people like that style of game, a stealth political espionage style, like a Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Or even you brought in Hitman, which has similar stealth.
Similar,
type.
but
it is different, but it's
very unique.
I think Splinter Cell would be a good grab.
Yeah, I think it's the best bang for your buck, and it has like 360 roots.
If Ubisoft's not using it,
yeah, how have you not done anything with that IP? I'm very confused.
Probably because Assassin's Creed makes a lot of money.
Yeah. And they were working on the world's first quadruple A game for quite a while.
What is their number one income game? I bet you it's got to be Rainbow Six Siege, right?
So, you can't even see this on the screen.
Yeah, I'll ask our good friends at Perplexity.
This is the I'm pulling up on the list the Ubisoft franchises that they have. I don't know. Far Cry is up there.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd put Splinter. Here's the problem: the time, and this is unfortunate, and I am on the bandwagon of Splinter Cell, but the time of stealth games has significantly been less popular for the last 15 years.
Because no one's done it as good as the OG Metal Gear Splinter Cell days when they were going head to head.
I think that's why it's a good like I think the new Metal Gear Solid remake Delta, I think it's gonna do incredible because we don't have a strictly stealth style. We don't have that style of game. Like there's nothing out there like it right now.
But fundamentally, every game that Ubisoft has come out with has been anti-stealth, even though they were supposed to be
Recon,
stealth.
Division. The problem with Ubisoft,
I think they made a huge mistake with Ghost Recon making it Division.
I think they made a huge mistake with Ghost Recon. I think they made a huge mistake with Division as well, in the respect that every game of those two games in particular are just the same. Like, just in, you want to play single player? Or you want to play persistently online?
Yeah.
Like, and they kind of have that problem across, like, they feel too similar while being totally different, supposedly totally different games.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, even like Assassin's Creed, when they have a skill tree that lets you go into stealth, but you cannot play stealth in the game and win.
Because of like you're talking about Valhalla, like when you do the raids, it automatically calls everybody in when you open the door and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, stuff like that. And the big baddies, I don't know, I would call them the sheriffs in town.
Yeah,
that randomly walk around the map. You know what I'm talking about, Jordan?
Yep.
You can't. There's no stealth kill for those guys.
I actually think they're gonna make that same mistake in Shadows because if you watch the developer diaries, it's actually. I feel like someone should like watch it first and say, hey, maybe we should. Because in the developer diaries, they talk about how there's the two protagonists. One of them is focused on stealth.
Yep.
And the stealth stuff looks pretty interesting. Yep. The other one is focused on just like they're a tank.
Brute force.
Yeah, they're not good at stealth. They bang through doors and this and that. And they say you have the freedom to play whoever you want. And it's like, okay, so if someone wants to play stealth like Mark, he'll play the one character and be stealth the whole game. But then immediately after that, they also say, and then there's going to be certain missions where you have to play as the other person. So we change up the gameplay for you. And it's like, well, you're literally counter productive to what you're trying to do. Like it's anyway, I think there's actually going to be, I hope I'm wrong, but I
begs
think
the question,
Shadows
is Assassin's Creed Shadows going to deliver or not? Or
I don't think it will.
Yeah, it's hard for me to see, because what do you think is peak Assassin's Creed? Odyssey?
No, I actually disagreed with you in your video. Although I think Odyssey is one of the best games out there, it's not an Assassin's Creed game.
I agree. Like, they're very fun.
I think they made it, and they were like, "Hey, we need an Assassin's Creed for this year. Can you just slap the title on it?"
What is peak?
I agree.
What is peak Assassin's Creed to you? 3?
2 and its subsequent trilogy. So anything Ezio. So like you had Assassin's Creed 2, and I will admit 3 with Connor was really cool too. The Revolutionary War.
No. There was 3, and then the Revolutionary War after that.
No.
So there's 1, 2, 3.
No. There's not. There's 1 which is Altair, which I think was like a good start.
Yeah.
And I used to really like Altair before,
because I know there's a 3.
No, there is. There's 1, there's 2, there's Brotherhood Revelations, and then there's 3. 2 has its own sub trilogy. Assassin's Creed
was
3
Brotherhood Revelations where they introduced multiplayer then?
Yes, Brotherhood and Revelations are multiplayer, but that's all Ezio's trilogy. And then you have 4, which was Black Flag, and then you have. I don't think you ever had 5. I think at that point they started doing like Unity and.
So 3 was Revolutionary War. I never played that one.
3, yeah, that was with Connor.
So I think peak is Brotherhood.
Yeah, I think 2 and its trilogy. So 2 Brotherhood Revelations are like Assassin's Creed at its best.
That's peak. Okay.
Even though they still had like
in
dumb
fairness,
collectibles and stuff.
Odyssey, though.
But that's when like the story was still good. You know what I mean?
That was the last time I collected all the feathers.
Yeah. I kind of wish they would remaster the first one, like a full-on remake with all, because I think Altair was a cool character.
I don't think you should.
Well, yeah, it's definitely like
because
old.
Could you imagine what the UI would look like in today's standards?
Well, that's why I remake it, not just like a remaster.
No, but I mean like where they've gone, because it used to be just like the little map up there, but
it
now
would look like the Elden Ring art if Ubisoft did it.
Yes, exactly. It would be a different UI. That would be.
Also, do we care about Abstergo outside of Assassin's Creed?
I think in Assassin's Creed 1 through, I would even say maybe 3 is. I would say 1 through 3 you did, including Brotherhood and Revelations.
Yeah, and
Black Flag you kind of didn't care.
Black Flag,
but it was just so much fun being a pirate. You also didn't. Care about anything else.
I didn't. Anytime Black Flag was the first time of the Assassin's Creed, and granted, I didn't play the American Revolution Assassin's Creed 3, so I skipped that, went Black Flag, and that was the first time that anytime I got sucked back into the Abstergo storyline, I was just mad. Whereas up to that point, it was so interesting, that whole storyline and the dynamic, and they made you want to think what it was. It was just a huge fall off with Black Flag, and it was like, just keep me in freaking as a pirate.
Yeah. But I think Ezio was like Assassin's Creed peak. And I used to not like Ezio because I went from Altair, who was just like your basic one-dimensional awesome
badass.
Yeah. And
one-dimensional badasses are pretty great.
Yeah, and then Ezio came in, you're like, oh geez, he's like a playboy, but then you like really learn to like him a lot. Like he's actually it was actually a very good development throughout that game of his character.
We popped someone super chat cherry.
All right.
Daniel Simone. Good to know you. Happy to pop your cherry, baby. Australian $2. This is his first super on a live stream.
All right.
Any deal should include all the ABK cloud games. Agreed. We want all of them. We have all of them, don't we? Thank you for your super chat, Daniel Simone. Welcome. You are now a man. You're now a chat man.
See, I'm looking at this list though. Back to the original.
Okay.
You guys were saying Splinter Cell.
I think biggest bang for your buck.
I would say Splinter Cell is probably one of my favorites, but I don't think like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed.
Far Cry sucks. Assassin's Creed is dead.
I disagree with you there. I disagree. I don't think Far Cry sucks.
I think Far Cry has
diminished
over
no,
time.
Here, when I say biggest bang for your buck, it's not that. Yeah, I think those would be absolutely huge if Xbox got them. But I think biggest bang for your buck, what you're going to pay for a Splinter Cell versus what it returns to you, I think is a greater gap than, because you're going to pay premium for Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. I don't know that you pay premium for Splinter Cell.
Well, here's the thing,
because they've done nothing with Splinter Cell.
Because of that, I think if you announce like a good Splinter Cell trailer tomorrow, the internet would break.
Yeah,
I don't
think it would break.
You get what's his name, Mark Irons, to be the voice again. You know,
I just think that the market share for Splinter Cell is smaller than you guys are saying. I love Splinter Cell. Huge fan of Splinter Cell. I don't think. I mean, for us, yeah, for 35 plus dudes, yeah, Splinter Cell's the best.
Yeah, but a game. Think about a high, like let's say they dump tons of money into it.
This is also going off if they make a good Splinter Cell
game.
game.
Let's say a game of the year.
The last 3 years haven't been good for you. So.
But what I'm saying, yeah, imagine a game of the year style Splinter Cell. I think does for Xbox what a God of War did for PlayStation.
I think Prince of Persia does better than what Splinter Cell would do for the masses.
I mean, I don't know because it's hard because I think
it's a smaller IP though.
I think if you make a good game, you automatically appeal to the masses. Look what Baldur's Gate did as a turn-based strategy game. But the problem is like not every game is Baldur's Gate. You know,
Jake the Tank. Spicy got me feeling personally attacked with that 35 plus.
No, but it's true. Like you tell somebody 20-year-old or younger and say, "Hey, are you excited about Splinter Cell?" It's possible they'd be like, "What? What's that?"
Yeah.
So you get to introduce it to a whole new generation.
But again, a good game. Like look what Elden Ring did to a mass population. Like it reached out to more players than Dark Souls.
But that's a new IP.
But it's. I mean,
I know you're talking about quality of a game right now, but I'm talking about the IP.
That's why I used Baldur's Gate. Like, look what Baldur's Gate, a turn-based, slow-paced strategy game, reached.
Did for that genre.
Look what reached out.
35 plus us.
No, but millions upon millions of players, right? But the problem with that is I don't think Ubisoft or Microsoft, for that matter, right now, is making a Baldur's Gate quality game.
My argument is just that biggest bang for your buck. I think since nothing's been done with Splinter Cell, you could probably get it on the cheap. Cheaper, definitely, than a Far Cry or Assassin's
maybe a
Creed.
couple $100 or something.
Yeah. And then my goal with that would be, who's the right team for this? Maybe like a Ninja Theory. Pump a ton of money into it.
Ninja Theory?
Yeah, dude.
Boob physics
On a Splinter Cell? I mean,
no, man.
It would reach the masses.
Physics. No, but to have them make a classically Splinter Cell game, I don't know who you get, but what I'm saying is,
I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily Ninja Theory.
Top tier studio. I mean, you could make the same argument about Playground Games.
Wait, hold on. Am I confusing Ninja Theory with Team Ninja?
Yeah, I was too.
So Ninja Theory is
Ninja Theory is Hellblade. Yeah.
Hellblade. Well, I
don't think that. I don't know if they.
I still don't agree.
You could because you just take that. All I'm saying is they've make really good cinematic games. You just put that as a. You have them do a different style, the same way you have in Playground do Fable.
I'd give it to id.
Okay, I would give anything to them.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, just badass.
I mean, fair.
I don't think it would be a stealth game.
yeah, but at that point, I mean, yeah.
No, I'm just saying. I think that's biggest bang for your buck. As far as top tier, okay, let's say Xbox is going to spend premium dollars, like top tier. They want the biggest title. Which one, Spicy, do you get?
Okay. Well, I mean,
I think Assassin's Creed is too much. That's too much money.
No. In this hypothetical, Xbox is going all in. They want one title. Which one do you think would be best for Xbox to get?
Oh, okay.
Because Splinter Cell. If you make a good point, Spicy, it might not be the best for them to get. My argument is it's the best bang for your buck.
Maybe Ghost Recon and kind of take it back to what it used to be a little bit.
My issue with the Ghost Recon is Xbox is known as the shooter box. I think you want variety. Remember, we're not talking about Xbox either. We're talking about Game Pass. So how does it fit in your Game Pass catalog? And the goal here is, what is a game that you can drop day one on Game Pass and then drop everywhere else that encourages people to subscribe to Game Pass?
Honestly, this is going to be a weird one.
Give it to me.
I'm looking at this list. They own the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle IP.
I mean, you could do a lot with that.
It says right there under T's list of Teenage Mutant that has a list of games. So if you want bang for your buck hitting the masses, I would say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That IP is still strong for me and for kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great kid.
It hits all the boxes.
So you don't get the crew. You definitely don't get the crew. You don't need the crew. Yeah. You've got Forza Horizon. The
I think Far Cry's up there too. I know you guys were.
Far Cry could be up there, but
that game is
that game you would have to give to id because they're the only ones that could like make that. Even
Well, what's funny about Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, they're basically the same game.
You don't want to give Far Cry to Obsidian right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what game I think Microsoft really wants, just from a monetary standpoint? Rainbow Six Siege.
Just because it's live service?
Xbox is good at live service. They know live service. Why not get another moneymaker? It's second in revenue for Ubisoft, only to Assassin's Creed. I agree. In the last decade, Rainbow Six, $3.5 billion in revenue versus Assassin's Creed. And think about how many different games that Assassin's Creed has had to drop in the last decade, $4.3 billion. So Rainbow Six is the moneymaker.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is.
What do you?
I was just thinking I wonder how many people bought that new wheelchair operator.
Oh yeah.
Because that was.
I mean, that's the problem with Ubisoft stock. As far as perception, it may not be reality. Because remember when EA was viewed as like always bad and was like a running joke? They make bad games, and honestly they've recovered from that. That's no longer like the running joke for EA. And it was never necessary. Yeah, look at $2 from what? What's it? Go 5 year. From $20 above $20 peak in 2021, their stock to $2.63. The problem
doesn't Ubisoft have like weird stock? Isn't most of their stock in like the French market or something like that? Or
no, it's all the thing here. The thing here though is, I mean, stock is stock in a company. The thing here is that $2. You might think, okay, buy low. There's no indication that they're turning anything around anytime soon.
If you look at this,
stock is a perception issue.
If you look at this, what is it? When they start going down? Is it 2021?
2021, yeah.
Wow,
that was their peak. Rainbow Six. You could probably go. Oh, you can see it right there. 2021.
That's a big dip.
Go max. What is their all time? Is that their highest? No.
All time high was 2018, middle of.
That's
2018.
probably. I bet
at
you
$25. So it was, I mean, that's
I
close
bet you
to
that correlates to Assassin's Creed Origins. Because remember when they did like a huge revamp of Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the problem is what is it? Just Ubisoft just feels down. They feel disorganized. Look how many delays with Assassin's Creed, the controversy around Assassin's Creed, even us questioning Valhalla, for instance. Actually, Valhalla, fun fact, is their single.
I believe it's Valhalla.
Their top single game revenue release was Valhalla. And when did that release? Was that 2021?
Well, was it Valhalla that reached 1 million copies sold?
Yeah, Valhalla might be peak. Let me see. 2020. There you go. And that is when the troubles began. Because I think even though it sold, the hype was so big for that game. Like me, I was super hyped for that game. And that game has really put me off of Assassin's Creed for forever. And so,
they went from $20.
They're $2.
$2. Whoa.
Yeah, look, 2017 was Origins, so that was when they revamped Assassin's Creed and started going up.
Yeah, and so they just have nothing, because even Assassin's Creed, what Assassin's Creed always does really well is nail the location. Japan, super cool. Samurai, super cool. The aesthetics, super cool. I just don't have faith after Valhalla that I'm not going to jump into that game and be overwhelmed with fetch quests and a very mediocre at best story.
Well, and then you have all the bad press that's been going on with it about how they kind of insulted an entire nation. So.
Yeah, and so what, like... And then what is their new shooter? Don't they have a new shooter that's
it got shut down?
Team shooter? It already got shut down?
Yeah, I think it was like X-Defiant.
X-Defiant, that's right.
Yeah, they've not been doing good. And to be honest, I think it all started with the world's very first quadruple A game.
I don't think it started then. I think that was a sign of the symptom.
Because think about it, you had Skull and Bones.
And yet they have so many good
and then you
IPs
had
out there.
Yeah, let's pull out.
And then you had what else? Star Wars Outlaws, which didn't do too great either. Another big budget game. And then now you have like Assassin's Creed coming. It's just
it's
an uphill battle.
It seems like a restructuring is in order.
Well,
for
then
Ubisoft.
we were just talking about the reasons why Assassin's Creed's been delayed and stuff. Like it just seems like I don't know. I hope it does well, but it seems like an uphill battle.
I mean, at $2, maybe I jump into Ubisoft stock.
Yeah.
Look at their IPs.
Yeah,
if they can manage
It's
to
on, it's on sale right now.
Buy the dip.
Yeah, if they can get back up to, can you go back to that stock, because it has the competitors there. And just to put this into perspective, guys, so Nintendo is $68 right now. EA is $137. Microsoft, which kind of doesn't count, you can't really count Xbox as that separately, is $378. Tencent is $66. So like those are comparable or related. Microsoft doesn't count there, but Tencent, EA, and Nintendo. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. A lot of people would be surprised that EA does so well. But remember EA, 2017, 2018, 2019? It was like a running joke that EA was just not making quality games, that they were messing up with everything. And
yeah, it was the whole, there was several incidents of like pay to win stuff. That was one of the issues.
They made some changes, some leadership changes, and Now we're off to the races.
From all the leaks I've seen with Battlefield, I know you said that every Battlefield kind of looks good, but this Battlefield is actually looking...
Can we pull that up? Can we take a look at Battlefield?
I don't know if we can look at the leaks.
Yeah, you just type it in. Someone will show
I know,
it somewhere.
but won't they get us for it?
No, Twitter is the Wild West, man.
Wait, what are we doing? Are we looking up the red dress?
Yeah.
Like, what am I looking up here?
Battlefield.
No, there's a lot of cool features that they're bringing to Battlefield. It feels a lot like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 days. The destruction looks awesome from what I've seen.
3 minutes of leaked footage.
Yeah, the destruction looks fantastic. Rubble is doing damage to you. So there's one clip I saw where a tank got hit by a building collapsing and it did damage to the tank. It feels like Battlefield. Feels like 3 and 4.
After a year of release.
Well, yeah, 4 did have its issues, but it did become good after a year of fixing
After a
all
year,
that
they
stuff.
got there.
But no, there's a lot of cool features. They're bringing back the 3D map. They're bringing back when you spawn on someone, you can see their camera. It looks so far so good. You know.
Yeah. I look, they covered up all this as notifications so they can't identify who it was. That's all the notifications. That's funny.
So, but no, Battlefield is looking to I think the class system, they're back with just their 4 classes now, which is good, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a fun time.
Yeah, EA is on the up there for sure with that.
I did hear people were saying that like smoke grenades actually adhere to the environment now. So like if you throw a smoke and there's a truck there, the smoke will like go around, like it'll act as it would in real life, like the smoke is there.
That's cool, but how much processing power is that taking from me?
I don't know. People are playing these on PlayStation 4s right now.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I keep
with
saying
AI
4.
0.
PlayStation, yeah. I say PlayStation 5. I think some of the leaks came out on PlayStation 5.
So have you guys heard about what is it, like the neural chips? So basically, like your processor has its own brain, and it's analyzing optimization constantly for you, like, and then it's making changes on the fly, and that's how, like, basically the idea is that it would the new that anyway. The theory is that's what's coming to the new Xboxes with the AMD chips.
Neural link or whatever.
A neural, what is it called? A neural chip, where it's thinking for itself, which is, we're kind of Skynet levels here. It's going to start with Skynet. It's going to start with gaming.
Look what happened to Doc Ock when he lost his little safety chip.
Yeah, he got hardcore, man.
Anyways, it's interesting. We're in a wild.
Yeah, is there going to be a safety chip involved? Yeah, I guess that's the real question.
What is Happy Mayo says, Jordan the Man. Do you agree with him here? He says he thinks Outlaws is a little underrated. He's been enjoying it. He's about 38 hours in. Do you think it gets like it gets too much hate? That it's not. Well, I think it's not bad. I think it's just not. Fantastic.
I think it's just like anything else, right? I mean, I think it's like Avowed. You have people that are on this is a perfect game. It's not, and then you have other people. This is the worst game I've ever played. Also, it's not. It's somewhere in the middle. It's a 7 out of 10 game. I think Outlaws does suffer from that a little bit. Again, I don't think Outlaws is terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't think it's the greatest.
You think
game
there's
ever.
missed potential there?
I do think there's a lot of missed potential. For example, you are an outlaw, but you can't steal anything from anybody.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say, because there is certain things like you can't. I think Blake made a good point when he was on the show the other day. There's so many games that allow you to have so much freedom that when you put in a game that doesn't allow you to have that freedom, you very much notice it. And it feels like Outlaws restricts your freedom a bit.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think open world games, yes. But if all you do is if you take that formula and you go make it a linear game, like that like there's an expectation with open world games of freedom. I agree. But you switch that and put it in that same expectation doesn't exist for linear games.
But going back to Apple Mail, I think I agree with him to an extent. I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a 7 out of 10 game. Now that's me. I never finished it. I got it free with my graphics card. Yeah. I would have preferred getting Black Myth with my graphics card, and the guy at Best Buy.
It was random, right?
Yeah, it was random. He was like, "Sorry, I can't." He like looked at me like, "I."
Guys, want to go to Best Buy after this? I feel like buying something. Wait, what should I buy? Suggestions? Anything?
Get a color changing mouse pad.
Yeah. But no, so Star Wars Outlaws.
Get that thing, the mouse dongle.
Oh, the mouse dongle is sweet. Although I just use this.
Yeah.
It'll change your life.
But Star Wars Outlaws, from what I played, for me, it was another okay game. It was just 7. Now, that being said, it didn't entice me enough to finish it. Dude, so, I mean, take that for what you will. Or, you know,
this is a game that we haven't talked about, and it's crazy that we haven't talked about it because it just came out, and it's making big waves, big numbers. People saying it's one of the best of its version yet. That's the new Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, I've not played it yet, but I've heard.
There's so many good games right now. Like, we're flooded with options. I'm stuck in Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Like this weekend, every weekend I get like 6 to 8 hours in, and I just like
on a weekend.
On the weekend, yeah, I'm just like progressing stories.
Good job.
Yeah,
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, and guess what? I'm now like 21 hours in. Yeah, I'm still not at the wedding. I thought I was gonna I'm gonna go through the wedding, but then I start chasing down. I just start chasing down random. Is this spoil? It's not a spoiler alert if I'm in the first area, right?
I would say it's a spoil. You want me to turn on the music? I can.
Yeah, we don't need to turn on the music. Basically, okay, I'll say what I'm helping the freaking nomads, and I go through and help them through some deaths that happen in their families.
Okay.
You know,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then there's a whole side quest on there that I just get.
Yeah,
you helped the Cumans, didn't you?
I did. They're good friends of mine.
Yeah, I just
that's the humans next to the nomads.
Yeah,
are good friends of mine. There's humans that are walking down the street, and I guess I look at him wrong, and he will start attacking me.
Well, do you have a shield with the wrong?
Are you? That'll do it.
Yeah.
That is
with the wrong
emblem.
Funny. Yes, I do.
Yeah, because so do I. And I kept having, and I was like, what? And then I realized, I have the enemy shield.
That blows my mind.
It's on your back. Okay, yeah. But see, this is where the avowed criticism is legitimate. Because in avowed, they would just ignore you. Like, hey, I'm an enemy. We're mortal enemies.
That's so funny.
Like, how cool is that does that?
How did you figure that out? Like,
because it happened to me. And then I was like, why am I getting attacked here all the freaking time for no reason? And then, wait, my shield. So I just go trade in your shield. Their shield was like
there's
no
shields everywhere. I have lots.
I don't have to worry about the Cumans because I axed them. That guy in the bar was like, "Hey, these guys are a-holes. Can you take care of them for me?"
By the way,
hey, yeah, no problem.
By the way, you know how we were like, I was like, I suck at fighting. You want to know my solution? Your advice really did help, yes. But then I got lazy, and I just always carry a shield. Like, if you just have a shield.
Oh, yeah, shield's the best.
Shield is, the only way.
Well, shield and poison. That's how I killed the Cumans. Shield, give him a little poke, wait for him to die.
I'm really getting into archery in that game. You know,
I've not tried archery.
You can put poison on your arrows, too.
No, crossbow. I've gotten into crossbow. Yeah. That's how I make all my money. I go to the friggin' contests. I spent 2 hours.
The Robin Hood contest?
I spent 2 hours at the castle just doing crossbow contests and putting the most down that I could every single time. And when you upgrade it to where you have fast reload, because part of that, when you do those contests, you get bonus points if you finish first. And that's how you win. Dude, you're unstoppable. I make thousands. I just sit there.
I'm to the point where I have so much money.
Yeah, and then I just go buy stuff, and it's fantastic.
And
yet I've not yet been to the wedding.
I'm still waiting for the town that I stole literally everything from everyone to just calm down. Because
I don't steal.
No, I do.
I've built an empire on stealing.
Yeah.
Okay, I do grave rob, but I don't steal. It's great.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair.
I don't steal from living. Okay, I steal from the dead.
That's where you cross. That's on the line.
Are you alive? I won't steal from you. But if you're dead, you're a free game.
Did you steal from the grave keeper?
I have stole.
He has. I felt really bad for him because I've stolen from like literally everybody. I go in his basement and he does. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I'm not stealing from him.
I did steal from the soldiers, but I view them as
I will not
enemy.
steal from the caretaker of the dead.
No, I haven't stolen from him. I did steal from the soldiers. I took at the first town. You take like their keys, and then I go into their armory, and I just took everything.
Yeah, they have a lot of good armor and weapons.
Stuff.
Yeah, they're still pissed at me for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you get caught?
I think some.
You know how I get caught a lot is if you steal something and then fast travel out of there. That's like because the game still simulates as you're fast traveling, so you can be seen
with events,
and then you can hit B. Yeah, so whenever you steal, make sure you actually get out.
Everywhere I've stolen, I've gotten caught.
The little the little gate jail symbol.
Yeah, but it goes away after like a week.
So before we get out of here, let's talk about what games we're playing. Can I say one that I downloaded that I started, and if you look up the reviews, in fact, we could pull this up.
I don't like reviews anymore. I had a bad week with reviews.
Oh, really? Oh, tell me.
A lot of 7 out of 10s. You know what's funny is we always make fun of IGN, but I feel like the games that have come out lately have been a lot of 7 out of 10s.
It's because it's an inadequate rating system. 1 through 10 is inadequate.
I've gone down the rabbit hole of like, why is this rated so high, or why is this rated so low? And then I realized that everything is fake.
Yeah,
literally everything is.
We're at the worst time we're at the best time in gaming for games. We're at the worst time in gaming for opinions on gaming.
Yeah. Once you start to like look up how many, because they have algorithms that can figure out if reviews are real or not.
Yep.
Like on top of this is not review bombing.
Yeah. So they're called KOLs, key opinion leaders. And you pay them to do X, Y, or Z, and it's all fake. There's so much fake in there, like it's
everything
is
fake.
Yeah, everything is fake.
Everything, books, TV shows, movies.
Chances are,
literally everything.
Chances are, you guys know someone famous that you follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, YouTube Live, and you're like, damn, they pull in 50,000. Chances are, at least 50% of their followers or subs are purchased.
Then you go and television, there's all these competitions of like music competitions and stuff like that.
You blew my mind. I started watching stuff about that.
Wings of Pegasus. Everybody check out that channel. The guy is awesome.
Yeah. So now anytime I watch them and they're singing live, and you're like, wow, he's so good. I just, in my head,
so
I hear Mark and it has ruined it for me. It's like, I'm sure they're like above average good, but
let me explain what we're talking about.
Yeah, but they're like perfection.
So what's sad about I'm talking about like The Masked Singer, X Factor, all these shows.
Yeah.
Even the professionals that go and guest on the show, they auto-tune them
live
in
real time because the software can do it now.
Because why are they doing that on a professional level? Well, this is why. Because said person has an album coming out in 2 weeks, and a good performance will sell more albums.
Yep. Plus,
or Simon, whatever his name is, really likes that person over that person because they're more attractive. So they'll make that person sound better than that person, so that when they sell the albums, it'll make more money.
The thing that blew my mind is when good singers because the professionals, they're good singers. But
that's why auto-tune good singers. Why?
Yeah, well, here's why. Because you can make them perfect singers, and most people can't tell because the auto-tune is slightly doing it. You know what I mean? And you're just perfecting them.
Yeah.
Whereas, if I sang, you would hear the auto-tune because I'm not a great singer, right? You know what I mean? So
everything is fake, is basically.
Yeah, unless you see it live in person, even then now you can't trust that.
It's not. No,
Pegasus.
Wings of Pegasus, he's awesome. He's a musician. He will go through and he pulls up the software and he pulls up all the levels because once it's aired or once they have a recording of it, you can see what's been done with the WAV files and all that stuff. And there are bands that are still good. U2, for example, he goes through and does U2 and he's like, yeah, they're a band they like to be live.
Yep.
And so they're, stuff like that. But
yeah, they're a live band.
But it's depressing that everything in my world is completely fake. What really got me was how in the hell is Wheel of Time such a high rated show? That's when I started, going down the...
Is it like IMDb?
It's like at a 78%, which is really high for a person that has watched that and has read the books and is really confused by that. And then when you go in and then you see, well, that's because most of these are fake reviews.
Everybody's figured it out.
Yeah.
Everything's become but if you're not in the first, let's say, 2 years of something, like if IMDb did not exist and it drops today, you have 1 year where everything is accurate. 2 years. Once it becomes like influential enough, that's when it becomes. That's when people figure out how to game the system, game the algorithms, and it's big money. It's big money to do that because so many people come here to trust the reviews.
Yeah. What's really crazy is when you start to look at like the websites like that say, like on Amazon, you go look up Review Checker or anything like that. There's Review Tracker, I think is one. There's fake analyzer, stuff like that. There's people that are trying to combat this, but it's everything on Amazon. Probably 90% of Amazon is now fake.
Yeah. The fact that Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, which is the worst try-hard show I've ever seen. Look at the breakdown. That right there tells me it's two things too. It's not only that it's fake, but Rings of Power is one too, where you have people. The same thing is happening in game reviews right now, where you have people
that just dig in,
giving a review 10 or 1. Because look at this. That's how it should be like a nice curve, right? Like I would say this part is probably accurate right here. This and this are not correct. Well, this might be correct.
No one can see that, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like
but so you have people dig in and like, well, because I have this political bias and ideology and I'm opposing those people, I'm giving it this really high review no matter what. And then the opposite, because I have this view and I'm opposing these people, I'm giving it the lowest review ever no matter what.
So I'm not even talking about review bombing. Review bombing is an issue.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
the corporatization of
the
reviews.
bots that have come in and they've created fake accounts and then made them look real and then had their everything's fake. That's why I said I had a bad week. David, I just realized that I'm living in a simulation.
You are in a simulation.
Full circle here.
Yeah. Watch this. So I'm just showing Spicy. We won't show this on stream. Here's a website. Buy Twitter followers and more. Okay. I can come in here. Here is everything. Watch this. I can go to Twitch. This is live viewers. I can put in any Twitch username. Let's see how much this costs. Let's go.
Yeah, this has been a problem for Twitch for a decade.
1,000. $42. $42 for me to buy 1,000 Twitch viewers. 1,000 Twitch viewers in most categories puts you up top. You want to know how you grow on Twitch, everybody? You go and buy yourself viewers. That's what I mean when I said most people that are watching have bought their way to the top.
Yeah.
Some haven't.
Or
isn't it really easy to see like for example?
Well, it's really easy because chat.
Yeah, like
chat
if you have 1,000 viewers and no one's chatting.
Or for instance, in my industry, like there's lots of KOLs and it's all fake. So influencers that'll tweet out stuff, and since I'm in it every day and I'm working with, like, you can tell in 10 seconds if it's fake or not. And the way they get you is that people that don't know are like, oh man, look at all the views we're getting. Look at all the comments we're getting. But when you look at the comments and the views, it's always, that's the one thing that's how you can tell on most things. So if you got a video that's got 20,000 views, yeah, someone paid for those views, and no comments. Yeah, someone paid for those views. Or if you got a video that has 20,000 views and 1,000 comments, higher likelihood that it's correct, but then you got to go read the comments. And if the comments are all, this is awesome, this is great, love this, great points, love your channel, well, like, boom, those are bot comments. Mm-hmm. So it's very easy. It's very easy to tell. So if you're a live streamer and I've got 1,000 people in stream and there's nobody in chat, red flag, boom, there you go. If I'm a live streamer and I've got 1,000 live viewers and I've got a pop in chat, but all it is love your content. This is great. Love, like, you paid for those bot comments as well.
See, and it's easy for us to tell on that, right?
Yeah.
What is really, it's difficult for me to deal with is the inauthentic stuff that's on mainstream level stuff. Like the shows my wife watches, how fake competitions are. Like, why, if you're a professional singer, why would you auto-tune in a competition?
Yeah.
Well, it's because they have an album coming out in 2 weeks, and
then there are services like this. Reviews matter. Google reviews, business reviews, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews. right here. You just buy them. Buy 500 reviews, which will boost you to the top if you're a business on Yelp, on Google, on Facebook. $3,000. And so everything becomes monetized as people figure out the system. And as long as there's a gate and, if I could just get on this list, I take off, people are going to try to manipulate that.
Our comments section's pretty great. X1 paid me 10 cents for this comment. And we got other people going, hey, you're getting paid? That's funny. Anyway, so I don't... What brought that up? You were talking about reviews on something, and I just said...
Oh, yeah. I wanted to just talk about real quick before we get out the game I'm going to be playing this week.
Yeah.
I showed Jordan it. On YouTube, if you pop it up, it's Warhammer Rogue Trader.
It's kind of like
on Game Pass.
Baldur's Gate style.
Warhammer Rogue Trader.
I downloaded it as well.
So it's on Game Pass right now. It was like this happy discover, and because of multiple Warhammer games, but really Space Marine really has me interested in that universe. Everybody like from Metacritic to reviewers that I trust, everyone, this is up there with Baldur's Gate as far as CRPGs are concerned. There's a difference here. This is much more focused on like strategic battles, and less on story. Whereas Baldur's Gate is probably more on story. Then like it more heavily weighs story over strategic battle. And this probably weighs strategic battle more than. I think watching.
It's a lot of reading here.
I think watching a review video.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Just go mute a review video, because that's going to show you like this is going to go in order, and it takes some time to get to like the meat of stuff. Because I started this game like the intro.
I can skip ahead. Is this
good? Skip ahead again. Yeah, so you're gonna. I think if you go to a review, it'll show. It's very cool, very very cool. On Game Pass.
Game Pass for Xbox or PC.
Yeah, it's on console.
Game Pass, console, and PC. One of the, anyways, very much looking forward to it. Soul Finder Rogue Trader is pretty good. RPGs are just so long. I'm too old for long games, says Soul Finder. I feel you, brother. I feel you. Pull up Spicy. Pull up a review video of it, and mute it, just because they'll like show a variety of stuff happening
and like the combat, and stuff.
But
yes, I downloaded this game as well through
my recommendation.
Yeah. I've yet to play it, but it's downloaded.
Yeah, dude. Here we go, guys. Check this out. Turn-based, like it's Warhammer. It's Warhammer turn-based strategic battle where you level up your characters. They have different abilities. You get plus minus, on each of those versus different opponents. So you've got to choose the right characters in your party to do it, and then it's a Warhammer story. So ever since, well, like I said, a few things, but really, Space Marine 2, the Warhammer universe fascinates me, and I think is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
that's because Space Marine 2 was a freaking awesome game.
Yeah. But legitimate. I've been watching lots of gameplay of this, and I'm excited to try it out. So, ultimate power. Ooh, let's see. Let's watch the ultimate power. Here it is. Oh yeah, that's. So you get like debuffs, obviously, and buffs for hiding behind stuff, or how you. There's a big boss. Let's see what he does here. Oh no, he just shoots.
I get it.
Well, he just shot
check
him.
it out.
Yeah.
Game Pass though.
The other game that I've been playing, because Forza Horizon is going to PlayStation, and it prompted me to. Dude, I got to go back and play some Forza Motorsport. So I downloaded Forza Horizon, but then I ended up playing Forza Motorsport. Bro, that game, it's so good. There's so much there.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
In Horizon or Motorsport?
Motorsport. Well, Horizon too, I'm sure. The thing about both of those titles is those are games built on systems over time. So that game's been out 2 years now, Motorsport, a year and a half.
Sure.
And just the amount of content.
So you were like looking to us for.
Well, I just don't remember when it came out. But just the amount of content there.
I was hidden behind you.
If you were to drop a game today that was legitimately as good as Motorsport, it's still impossible to compete because you just don't have all the systems there. You don't have all the content there. Like, it just builds upon itself over and over and over again. Same with the Horizon. I've been every night. I've been getting an hour in of racing.
Good. That's
before
good.
bed. And it's fantastic.
You know how I built my setup?
Oh, yeah.
I found out on Amazon now, at the time you couldn't. That's why I built my own.
You get like a $10.
No, you can get it's like $120, but it's a full-on chair set up. It has all the attachments, so you can do all
Shay
that.
had them there. I think it was just more expensive.
And you can fold it up and put it in your closet now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man.
You should get that, dude.
I spent $30 on 2x4s. I should have just saved up, and waited. No, they probably had it before, but it was way more expensive. Yeah. So,
anyways, what are you guys playing this week before we go?
Okay, actually, so I have decided to take the journey.
Oh.
And I'm playing the remastered version of BioShock.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I never played the original BioShock 1 and 2, but I played BioShock Infinite, and everybody says BioShock 1 is by far the best. Like, what they do with the story and, they kind of... Yeah, just a bunch of different... Anyway, so I'm going to play BioShock. I've also been thinking about playing Death Stranding again after I saw the new stuff for Death Stranding 2.
Death Stranding is a very polarizing game.
It's because it's a very different game.
Yeah. You either like it or you don't, it feels like.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Ruben's comment in chat. It's true. I don't.
With enough
I do not. I don't want to inquire more.
Fold anything up and put it in your closet. It's true.
With enough.
Have you seen the latest season 3 of Jack Reacher?
No, but I am all caught up on 1923.
Someone is dead, and he folds them up to stuff them in.
Spoiler alert!
It's not a spoiler.
Doesn't he do that in season 1?
He does in season 1 too. Yeah, but with enough. This is true. When you're big and buff. By the way, I found out his chemical regime.
Oh yeah, his cocktail.
It would cost me. If you want to look like Jack Reacher. First of all, everyone thinks that you just take what they're taking, you'll be. No, you got to work your ass off still. It just
takes drugs.
It's just instead of them going to work, they work out.
Yeah,
that's their job.
But it's just to speed it up and enhance your body. You got to be doing this. Anyways, it would cost. So first of all, it's legal. It is legal. He's not taking anything illicit. But
in certain countries,
the cheapest I could find, it would be $200 a month.
It's actually really not that bad to be buff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what I told Tiffany. The problem though is while you're taking it, you're infertile.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know if this is legal anymore.
That trade-off is hard.
It's getting better and better the more you talk.
The trade-off is...
Are you on birth control?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
So you're saying you get to look like Jack Reacher and you don't have to worry about getting
and you don't have
pregnant?
To slip one past the goalpost?
Yeah.
Yeah, the downside to that is...
I'd say that's worth $500 a month.
Yeah, people pay a top dollar for that. Yeah. David.
Well, so it's TRT, so it's testosterone replacement therapy that he's on. Micro dosing, which means like you're injecting a little bit every day.
Well, yeah, you don't want to.
But the side results are basically becoming fertile and your balls shrink.
Okay, well that one.
Your penis looks bigger though because.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
all right.
Because
we're back in it.
There's two sides to every
as long
sport.
as you lose weight, if you take advantage of taking it and you're working out and exercising, then when you get a six pack,
it's
you're
still
down.
kind of balancing here.
Yeah. See.
Okay.
See?
All right.
$200. Okay.
I've been having serious discussions with my wife.
Nice.
Good for you, David.
Yeah. Problem is, I just don't want to be infertile.
Well, is it one of those things where it's like I stopped taking it and you're back on track?
Yeah, it is. It comes back.
I mean, it's not. I don't think
it comes back.
Does everything grow back?
But what if it comes back?
Does everything
less
go back?
Potent?
Does everything?
What if your potency is?
Does everything grow back to
Snip,
regular
snap,
size?
snip,
Yeah, everything comes back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you just get jacked for a couple months and then get off the stuff and then at least you still look good.
No, but it's gonna take long. It's gonna take like 3 years to look like probably more for Jack Reacher, but 3 years to look ripped. I bet you a year really hard if you're dedicated, you could get super jacked. But that's like every day for 2 hours, you're lifting heavy, doing cardio, watching your calories strict, the whole shot. So if you're gonna do something like that, you gotta commit.
Yeah. And be
For
rich.
the infertility alone, you gotta commit. Okay.
Well, I think most people would take that as a benefit, though.
And I mean, I want like 10 kids. My wife doesn't. That's the problem. Every chance I get, I try to slip them past the goal. Do you have protection? Yes. Shh.
Yeah.
Quiet, you're ruining the mood. I do. Shh. Don't worry. Yeah, see, Ruben, see? Exactly. Your junk looks bigger comparatively. Yeah.
It's $200 a month. It's not sounding too bad.
You should put like big posters of Jack Reacher up on the wall around your bedroom. And
by the way, I showed my wife our segment last week where I called her a liar. And she did laugh. The last thing I needed was for her to find that and be like, what? Why are you bad-mouthing me? Like, I'm not, though.
Oh, man. Are we doing a post show, by the way? This show has gone like... We are almost an hour and a half.
Oh, dang. I didn't... What time is it?
Oh.
7:22. Yeah, I didn't realize it was
Basically, this last segment was the post show.
We are doing a post show. We'll go do a post show, everybody. Sorry, that's just having a blast.
Yeah.
I got 2 Dr. Peppers in
For
me.
those that want to join us whenever, that's generally how our post show conversation
This is our post show conversation. Yeah, it's...
we talk about
unrelated.
David's sex life. And the fights.
I don't know. There's no fights.
You said... Oh, yeah. Yeah?
Fights are foreplay, huh?
Fights are foreplay at my house. Yep. So is vacuuming, by the way.
That actually is true.
No.
I will tell you that. That's, doing dishes?
When you said that, I imagined that scene from Mr. and Mrs. Smith where you guys are trying to kill each other, and then it just turns into a make-out
They
segment.
end up making out on broken glass.
Yeah. That's
More
the
than
way-
making out.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Awkward
All right.
silence.
All right, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much, guys, for all your support. Don't go anywhere. If you have a membership badge, come join us. We're going to do the after show. We're going to continue this discussion. We're going to find out Jordan. And we're going to get Jordan to take some of these chemicals. He has nothing to lose. He can be our experiment.